What is going on, traders? It is Eric here with Traveling Trading. So I wanted to take some time to review my trade yesterday that I took, that I posted in the group for you guys with VXRT. Of course, that was one of my losing trades, and I like to, revisit my losing trades more often than my winning ones, because it's what helped me improve as a trader. And if you know you're aspiring to be a day trader, this is something you want to get in the habit of doing as much as possible. Okay. Of course, it's pre-market right now. Pre-market's kind of slow. It's on a Friday. So I figured I'd take some quick time to review this. I like to review the winning trades, but like I said, I like to review the losing trades even more. Okay, so we're gonna go over this. This was actually the only trade I took yesterday because I was very busy. But I was hoping that this video here will kind of be like the full scope of everything. Actually, it'll give you guys some good insight. I'm gonna touch on, you know, why I traded it, when I got in, when I decided to get out, um, what I saw, and actually give you some little tips here too that might help you guys out as far as the indicators and things like that we're looking at. Um, that goes towards my strategy as a trader. So hopefully it helps you get a little bit of insight, you know. And again, everybody trades differently. What works for me may not work for you. But this again is why it's very important for you to follow the process of, improving as a trader, which means, entailing everything that I talked about in the course, as far as the different sections, as far as developing a strategy, measuring your risk to reward, things like that that we talk about in the course. That's being made, so you guys can help get a little bit better insight here and see, you know, the ins and outs of a trader who's done it for a while, and just be able to get a better concept of everything. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the trade and let's talk about it. Okay. So pretty much, yeah, here's VXRT. And the reason why I took this trade was for a couple of different reasons. So let's just kind of start from the beginning as far as, where it caught my attention, obviously, and, what made me decide to get into it. Okay. So first and foremost, this stock was alerted. This was actually during pre-market. It was alerted. It wasn't on the watch list. I was looking at other stocks as well too in the watch list. But VXRT was alerted when it spiked up to the 936 area, which was right about here, that first initial spike. If you could see, actually right here, on the alerts, VXRT was alerted 936. So that was the first initial spike. So then it popped up on my radar. And you guys know me. I'm not jumping into the stock right away. I'm gonna wait, see how it plays out, and see if that initial volume spike was legit. Because a lot of times, again, stocks will go alert, they'll go off, shoot up, and then shoot right back down. We don't want to deal with that. Okay, we want to see some consistency. So, anyways, stock popped up, and it pretty much was holding its own right here. And of course, it's going to hold its own. The moving average is green. It's still above the RSI. That's great. Great, great, great. So you know me, I'm waiting for the first turn to see the weakness, um, and then I'll start to plan to get in. So as it keeps rising, it keeps rising, and this for a lot of traders, for a lot of new traders, as it's going in, the alert goes off and it's going, and and it's going up and it's going up. That's building up your FOMO. You guys are scared that you're missing out on all these great gains. Okay, but eventually you'll break that habit. Whether you do it on your own or your account forces you to, you're gonna eventually learn to break that. But I digress. So, moving averages started to turn down, and as it was turning down here in the red, you can see it was still holding support above, the earning moving average of the 9 and the VWAP. And if you guys don't understand anything I'm talking about, you either need to be doing your research or going back and look at the courses that I made. Okay, but you should be able to understand this. Okay, and again, this is just for you to see my example of how I play my trades and what I look for. Again, you as a trader, however you have your trading strategies or whatever strategy you follow, may be a little bit different. But this is pretty much how this played out here. The earning moving average, begin to, or the MACD begin to show, the weakness sign, and it still stayed above the VWAP and the earning moving average. Okay. So then that's when it started to catch my attention, how it didn't shoot up and shoot back down. That's usually one of the first things that I'm looking for. Okay. Now, let's take a step back and talk about the strategy that I trade. Again, a lot of these alerts and the type of trades that I do are momentum trades, which means, I like to ride the wave basically. As this, when I see I like to buy into the weakness, sell into the strength. And as I go over these trades, we'll continuously talk about that and help you to get a better idea. Okay. But that's my strategy, a momentum trading strategy. I just call it the wave strategy because I look at it as though I'm riding the wave. Okay. And that's what's helped me become, successful as a trader. A lot of momentum traders trade kind of similar too, and they call it their own thing. But again, this is just me as a trader. All right. Now, let's talk about why I got in. Again, you know, when it comes to entries and exits and reasons for entering the trades, I've told you guys plenty of times, and you've seen in the course that I say I usually like to look for three reasons to get in. Okay, um, and those reasons are listed in the course all the time, and they might vary depending on what they are. In this instance here, price action was looking good, had good news catalysts, and the bullish setup was there. It's not necessarily just a chart pattern itself that I'm looking at. I mean, it still had a good, stair stepping pattern right here. As you can see, up, down, up, and then I was like, okay, that looks good. It's still bullish. It's still holding up there. So that made me decide, okay, next change around, I'm going to enter in if it begins to, still hold its own with the moving average still being low and still being above the VWAP. That was my thought process there. Okay. So pretty much I didn't want to I didn't want to enter in right here. A lot of people ask, well, why didn't you enter in after the second time? Well, because this is pre-market, guys, and at this point here, this is where the bell opens up, and I'm not one to trade hold us. I'm not going to hold a stock until the bell opens, and I'm not going to trade it once the bell opens either. So usually for me personally in this area, I'm not touching the stock. I'm sitting there watching everything. I'm, in my opinion, am not skilled enough of a scalper to be able to trade this successfully. I tried it a lot of times in the beginning of my trading career, was trying to trade when the bell opens. And why was I doing that? Because again, as a momentum trader, I look for volume and liquidity. You know, 90% of the time, most of the volume and trades are happening in the first 30 minutes to an hour of the market, which is usually in this area. But again, it's not my strong suit. You might be good at it if you are great, but again, not my strong suit. I'm not saying I never do it. I'm just saying when I not seeing anything that makes me want to do it, I'm not going to do it. So a lot of times I don't. Okay, but yeah. So that's what pretty much happened there. Um, so when I decided to get in was when I seen the weak points were still holding strong. Okay, and again that was after the second moving average, which was right in this area here, and I'll show you guys where I got in at, which was pretty much on this green candle here, and then I'll show you how I sold. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did. That was when I decided to enter in after the market had opened and the moving average started to come down. And I figured, okay, I like to look for, like I said, buying into the weakness and selling into the strength, right? So as I was watching the stock here, the price action started to look pretty good right here as the moving averages was turning red. So I thought to myself, okay, that's a good time to get in. Excuse me. So I got in. I got in the trade at that point. And then as the moving averages, kept going, still holding above VWAP. Now, the key thing about this here, guys, at this point, especially right here, what I noticed as well too was that if, this right here, if you could tell this pattern, this is a flag pattern, pretty simple. Okay, pull it up here. Oops, sorry, let me move that bad boy. Pretty much, and actually, I think it was announced in the alerts, like, hey, this thing is flagging. Right there. And right, yeah, forming that flag. Now, if you guys know anything about it, and of course this is the poll. Now, if you guys were paying attention to anything in the course, or if anything that I might have shown you or taught you, or you reviewed any of my other review caps, when I seen this here and I decided to get in right here on this green candle, at this point, like later on down here, this is when you can kind of tell it's flagging because it's consolidating. You got resistance, resistance, and even there you got resistance. But look, the price action began to thin up and get smaller and smaller. Pole, flag, easy to read. So I was like, okay, it's flagging. Now, my thing is, I kind of knew the flag was forming right here. I will talk about how I realized, when I realized what I did wrong on this trade. But anyways, the trade, the flag, it began to flag, right? Now, you guys know part of my momentum strategy, or you may not know, but if you don't, part of my momentum strategy is once a pattern is formed and set up, um, you know, I like to buy the breakouts. It's either going to break out and shoot up or break down and shoot down. Okay. I didn't realize that until afterwards, like what I did wrong. And as you can see here, the moving average, what I did wrong, I got into this trade way too early. I mean, the moving average was barely forming right here, and I got in on this price action. I should have waited. If anything, I should have got in either here or seen a better candlestick entry as far as price action. And it never showed. I don't know why I jumped in, but hey, sometimes you make mistakes as a trader. Again, it's good to learn from this. So I know that's what I did wrong. We'll talk about it again once we're up. But anyways, usually one of the things I look for is, what I like to do is enter in when the breakout is formed. I don't want to try to guess. Oh, great! After the pattern showed up, it's either going to do this, it's either going to do. I don't want to guess. I want it to happen, then I'll get in because I know typically that's going to be continuation. So, for example, you see how this flag formed. Normally, at that point, it's either going to break up or break down. And in this instance, it broke down. So if I was a bearish trader, I would, enter in that point that it broke the VWAP and the EMA and crossed. If I was doing a short strategy, I wasn't trying to do a short strategy here. I was trying to, be bullish. And normally, if I would have waited till it broke down and showed me that formation after the flag was done forming, I wouldn't have took this trade. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case in this instance. But so I know a lot of you guys might ask me about, hey, where do you get that sell signal? Where do you get that buy signal? Um, we'll talk about that. But that's basically an indicator, the super trend indicator. And what I want to do here, make it a quick note for you guys as well too. Don't be paying for no indicator signals like that. I mean, I've seen a lot of advertisements, stuff like that, where people are, advertising, oh, know when to buy and when to sell your stocks or whatever. Don't be paying no $80, 900, whatever they're charging you a month. These indicators here are free, guys. Okay, they come with the buy and sell signals. Whether you do it on TradingView, I think it's some on TD Ameritrade if you use them. It's also some on Webull. I actually did a video for you guys, then to show you how to get it on Webull. It won't say buy and sell, but it'll be red and green. It's just a super trend indicator. Okay, um, I don't solely rely on indicators. As you guys know in the course, I tell you, don't just rely on one single indicator. As you can see, not all of them are accurate. I mean, even look back here, it's telling you, oh, buy and sell, but there's no price action here. What are you buying and selling? There's nothing. Now, so understand that not every indicator is perfect, but it does help. Again, indicators indicate, they never dictate. All right. So just make a little quick note of that if you can. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I entered the trade. And the reason why I exited the trade is because of a numerous different things. One, the flag pay. And you guys, it was even alerted that was flagged, and I believe someone had asked. Let me see here. Volume spike, blah 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 blah. They, like I said, I entered in. They had good news. Let me see where it's. Yeah, see, VRXT is flagging right there, and then it hit 11, and then it came right back down. So when I seen that the alert went off, like, hey, it's flagging, I knew right then and there that's where I messed up, and I needed to pay attention because, again, why am I getting into a trade before it flags? I mean, before the flag breaks out. Um, Again, so that's one of the reasons. That's my first my first indication that I realized I had messed up. I had got it beforehand, so I was praying that, oh, hopefully it goes up, but if it doesn't, I got my mental stop loss set based on my risk to reward ratio. And that's when I knew I should have got it, that I needed to get out as well too. So flag formed here and it broke down. As you can see, is done. The flag is done. Why is the flag done? Easy. Boom. Right there. It's funny because it's right there at the point of the sell indicator. All right. So you see there, the VWAP and the earning moving averages cross. That's one sign. Another sign, The MACD is still, is still red and it's still going down. The moving averages is moving down, and then also too, the relative strength index is below. So at this point, I knew to myself that hey, if this thing isn't gonna go, and I entered in at the wrong time, I need to just cut my loss and move on. I'm not gonna sit here and hold on to hope. I'm gonna bite the bullet, take that, and move on to the next trade. Of course, I didn't trade the rest of the day. This kind of threw me off a little bit, and then I got busy the rest of the day. I didn't have time. Even though other stocks ran like TKAT, I'm mad I missed that. It was a bunch of other good moves to play today. I just missed them. I didn't have time. So, anyways, those were pretty much. I had like 4 or 5 different reasons to exit. Sell indicator right here. Earning moving average and VWAP cross. Moving average was down. Relative strength index was down. All that is telling me big bearish signs. Bears came in. Even though, guys, market was it was kind of all day the market was kind of flat, but in the beginning of the day, the market was really really good. The news was good. Let me see here. What was the news for this right here? Yeah, so they had COVID-19 tablets that could potentially affect against new strains. Okay, and the stock soared up. So that's good news. Good news. Good price action. Market strength was there at this time. All good reasons to enter. All good reasons to think that. excuse me. All good reasons to think that this stock would run even more, but it didn't. Okay, indicators indicate, they never dictate. And even though you can have a winning strategy, guys, you could be winning lots of times. There are still times where your trade won't go as you think it would, which is why you need to know how to manage your risk, trade accordingly, and be able to cut your losses. It's all right to have losses, okay? But yeah, so it broke, and not only that too, it also broke the support. Excuse me, it broke support level as well too, which caused me to get out. So 5 to 6 different reasons for me to get out and not stay in and hold and hope, which I'm glad I did because guess what? It just got worse and worse and worse. Even when it tried, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I suspect today that it's going to just keep going down as well too. Again, it's still pre-market. We'll see, but obviously there's no action right now within the pre-market. Volume's low, which is normal. But yeah, that's pretty much the thought process behind that trade. Okay. Um, and yeah, the reason why I exited two, mainly two, was because of the risk reward. It hit my new level of support. It broke it. I said, okay, it's time to get out of this trade. It was already, trending down. Everything that was there to tell me not to stay in this trade was there. So I cut my loss and move on, guys. You got to know how to do that as a trader if you plan on doing this and doing this consistently. Um, so yeah, again, hopefully this video helps. Like I said, um, the the way to become a good trader, guys, is doing, you know, things consistently that are profitable. And in order to do that, you want to make sure that the strategy you actually use has a good win rate, um, and also you have a good strategy as far as entries and exits. Don't just hold on and hope. That's just going to wipe your account more than none. Okay. Um, so yeah, hopefully this helps, guys. And again, you're not going to win them all. Just know that. And especially in the beginning, you're gonna lose more than you're gonna win. It'd be amazing if you don't blow your account the first 2 or 3 times that you try day trading. But it takes practice. It takes practice. Again, I didn't learn all this stuff overnight. Even if I was taking a course, I still wouldn't know this stuff overnight. You still have to practice it in real time. And there's other things that you can look for that I'll discuss in the course and everything like that. But I like to keep my stuff simple. I don't want to use too many indicators. I don't want to use too many complicated strategies. I like to keep it simple. But at first, you got to be able to recognize the basic things like support and resistance. You got to know how to manage your risk to reward. You know what fits you as a trader. You got to do all that stuff first, guys. First things first. You got to crawl before you can walk, and you got to walk before you can run. Okay, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But anyways, guys, I hope this video helped you out. Hope it helped you get an insight of anything. And again, when it comes to these indicators, don't pay for this stuff, guys. Don't. There's no need. Don't save your money. Use that for trading. Okay. Um, if you have any questions about it, just message me, email me, whatever you need to do. Hit me up on Facebook, DM me. Don't matter. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna get back to it here before the market opens. I know it's 7 o'clock Eastern time, but I like to get prepared, even though I'm not trading in pre-market right now because it's so slow. But yeah, we're gonna get back to it. You guys stay green out there, and we'll keep it going. See ya.